Oh god, my foot is asleep. Ooh, ouch. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about all of my tattoos. I have 7. I have 8 tattoos. So I brought my little notebook because I wrote down all of the things I wanted to say about them and also answer all the questions I've gotten so far from all of you that want to just know a little bit more about what is it like to get a tattoo, do I regret any of my tattoos, what do my tattoos mean. So before we even get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new videos, and also if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Most of the time you get a tattoo because something essential is happening in your life. Think nice and long about it and then get it when you're completely secure and ready to commit yourself to that, because it is permanently on your body. Also, maybe don't consult your parents, because I felt like it was better that I always told my parents after I already got the tattoo, so that they technically couldn't talk me out of it or make me feel like I'm going to be disowned if I do. Side note. My very first tattoo I got in 2012, which was when I just moved over here to Canada, and that was because my grandmother passed away in 2012, and it was the most devastating moment of my life. I remember we were driving somewhere to do like something really random, like run errands, and we were in the car, and my parents usually don't phone me on my cell phone, so when I saw that my mom was calling me, I knew that something was wrong. She could barely get the words out, and she was just sobbing on the phone and was saying that my grandma had passed away, and I've never felt like that in my whole life, and just like talking about it now, it makes my hands kind of feel numb and weird. Basically decided to get the tattoo that I always wanted to get, and it was a swallow tattoo of a bird that both my sister and I really loved, and actually is directly the same as Sienna Miller's. Just in case you don't know her, this is what she looks like. And she has this beautiful swallow tattoo on her wrist, so it is on my left wrist. I will give you guys also the tattoo studios where I went. So this one I got done at Fat City in New Westminster. I'm not sure if the original artist, and I don't even remember his name, is still there, but the artist that I know of, I will leave all that in the info box, by the way. So I did a little bit of Googling to kind of see what the different meanings are for swallow tattoos to begin with, just because it is quite normal that people ask you, oh, what does it mean? What does it stand for? And the one I found that just really resonated with what had happened is that swallows take the deceased souls of your family members to heaven and create stars out of them. And that was the most beautiful quote meaning I've ever read for that particular tattoo, and it just was absolutely perfect. So I booked my appointment, went in literally 2 days afterwards and got it done. The first tattoo is just kind of getting over that scare factor, because I am so horribly afraid of needles. I can't go give blood or anything like that. So I was really scared, and half the time I wasn't even looking what he was doing. I was literally sitting there. I was literally just like clawing my boyfriend's hand sitting there, because it's kind of just like a stinging feeling, almost like a bee sting, but just kind of all over. And because it was close to my wrist and to my hand, it kind of made my fingers tingle a little bit numb. I will mention how to take care of a fresh tattoo as well at the end of the video. Literally the year after that, 2013, I decided to get another tattoo, which is a quote that is on my right hip, and I got it done in Port Moody at Black Rabbit Tattoo Studio, because that studio is run by all females, and I really liked that back then because I was really shy with my body, and like laying there with your hip out was kind of awkward. So I kind of appreciated that she was doing that. I picked my quote and then went on font.com or something. There's a lot of font websites where you can just type in a quote and then pick your font, and I printed it and brought it in, and she did the stencil that way. That tattoo says, never a failure, always a lesson. Also one of the most commented on tattoos that I have, because it is such a deep quote and a quote that applies to literally everything in your life, and it's very much about perseverance and acceptance and being okay with making mistakes and learning from your mistakes and doing better in the future. And by the way, this tattoo is reversed on Rihanna's collarbone, I believe. And this is where I saw that quote for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, this is so me. I am, in a good and bad way, very perfectionist about a lot of things in my life, and I need to seriously let go of things that I can't change and things that I've done wrong, and just move ahead and look into what the future has to hold and yeah, that's basically it. Then another year later, I went back to the same tattoo studio in Port Moody and got another little quote on my other wrist, which is on the side here. It says, "Live and let go." A very meaningful quote to me, because when I first moved to Canada, everything was so different. People are very, very different when it comes to how they're raised, traditions, how they act compared to Germany. And it took me a long time to realize that it's okay when stuff happens to you, and that you're better off letting things go than holding onto them and holding grudges and being mad, because this negativity just really destroys your soul, and you're so much better off just really letting something go that is not important and practice forgiveness and not take everything so personally. And it also has a little diamond in between instead of an and sign, and that was back then one of my best friend and I both got the same little diamond done together. Unfortunately, our ways have parted a little bit, but I still love this tattoo because we got it done together. And also, fun fact, this is what I call my blog. If you haven't checked it out yet, I will leave the link in the info box. In that same year, I got another tattoo on my foot, on my right foot. I was like, I had to check for a second. On my right foot, it is an angel wing. I got it done by Alex Rousey in Maple Ridge, and for the longest time I really wanted him to do a tattoo for me, just because he does amazing work, and he's done my fiance's work in his bicep tattoos. I got it done in that year because I found out that my sister was diagnosed with MS, and that was really another really tough part for my family, especially my mom, because she just simply couldn't understand why God would pick my sister to have MS. And she's just like me, she's a dancer, she loves fitness, she loves everything active, and that is hard because MS is eventually going to prohibit her from doing the things that she loves. So I decided to get a tattoo that stands for my sister, that will protect her. So it's an angel wing. That is simply just because we are so far apart. She lives in Germany and I'm here. Still have guilty feelings about that every single day, that I cannot be there for her every single day. Don't cry. And obviously an angel wing is also a spiritual symbol, and to me it is kind of courage to carry me through life. That is why it's on my foot. That tattoo took the longest out of all of my tattoos. I think it was up to almost 4 hours, because it has a lot of shading done. For beginners and getting like your first tattoo, maybe don't pick a huge piece that has tons of shading. Maybe start with something simple and smaller so you can kind of get used to that sort of pain. Then I took a 2-year break because tattoos are also expensive. So be prepared to drop a little bit of money, because they usually charge per hour. And in 2016, I got a new wrist tattoo, which is this calf mandala of a lotus flower. And this one also took a little bit longer because I was simply really picky. He free drew it. It's not like a stencil that I printed off the internet. So basically, he did the layout and then I told him things that I wanted differently. And this one is also different because it has this kind of dotted design. So it definitely is different than all of my other tattoos, but I'm absolutely in love with it, and also one of the most commented on, most loved tattoos by all of you, so thank you so much. So lotus flowers stand for renewal, rebirth, awakening, kind of like in a spiritual way, but also in a sense of like closing a chapter, opening a new chapter. And I got it done when my fiance and I actually took a break for a little bit, and it was emotionally very heavy on me. Mandala basically means just wholeness of self, so being unity and in harmony with yourself, and that everything in life is a circle, so everything starts and ends with yourself. Also in 2016, I got another tattoo, which is a quote that is on my back, kind of I would say like bra line on the back, kind of coming around. And I must say that one was the most painful out of all of my tattoos, because it's so close to your armpit and that area is so sensitive. Even though it was just an outline, I was ready to cry when he did that. And both my wrist and the back tattoo was done by Meadows. He is at Grapevine Tattoos in New Westminster. So the tattoo on my back says faith from within. And I also got a little cross tattoo on my middle finger on my left hand done at the same time. And both of them just really stand for my spirituality and knowing that everything that I need is already within me, and just really learn to trust yourself and let my intuition guide me through my life. And then my last tattoo is also on my right wrist. It is a crystal that was just added in between my calf tattoo and my quote here, because there was just basically a gap and I wanted to be filled by something pretty. And it's inspired by a quartz crystal. And this one is different because he used white ink to make shadows stand out. So people are very just impressed by this one being not just black ink, but black and white ink. And the funny thing is, when I do tan, the white ink kind of turns the same darkness as my skin does, which is crazy. Every tattoo artist has a different range of pricing, and it really just depends how long they've been in the business, how busy they are. And most of my tattoos were around $40 up to $80 an hour. So depending on how long you're there for, this is what you pay. Usually they will ask you for a deposit first when you book your appointment. Then once you have your tattoo done, it will be wrapped in saran wrap to keep bacteria out, because obviously it is an open wound. So for the first week while it's healing, don't do crazy sweat sessions. Once, I would say, 8 hours have passed since you got it done, you're going to take the saran wrap off, and you need to do a good wash with just unscented soap. I used unscented lotion on all of my tattoos to heal, just because I didn't want it to flake that much, because that is the natural thing that's going to happen, because it's basically like a wound, and you're going to have scabbing going on. You cannot pick the scabbing off. You're going to pull the pigment out of your skin. And that is also another reason why you can't sweat or shower or really like soak that part of your skin, because it'll make the scabs wet and then they will fall off and you will have little gaps in your tattoo. Most of the tattoo artists will give you a free touch-up just right after it's completely healed to make sure that there is no little gaps. And I would say the pain on a scale of 1 to 10 is probably like a 3 or a 4. It feels a little bit like a sunburn, and it kind of goes away within 1 or 2 days. If you love the sun and vacation, you need to make sure that you wear SPF on all your tattoos, because the sun will fade them and they will not be as vibrant as they used to be. In case you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to answer them for you and give you more advice on tattoos. I hope you liked this video. I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye!